and we'll get going. Okay, so welcome everyone to our final session. We are today talking about unified sport and closing off our session and talking about where unified is going to go in the coming years, starting next month. I'm going to share my screen here. Can you see that, Cal?
Yeah.
Actually, give me one more second here. I want to make sure I've ticked off the sound, which I did not. Okay, there we go. All right. So thank you everyone for attending our 2021 Unified Conference. This is our closing session this evening, and we're going to talk about unified sport and why we love unified sport at Special Olympics Ontario, and how we see unified as a tool that we can use to promote inclusion at your high schools, and where we see that going with our Unified Champion Schools program launching in the coming months. So as you know, our mission at Special Olympics Ontario is dedicated to enriching the lives of people with intellectual disabilities through sport. And we do truly believe that sport is the best way to build meaningful relationships between people, whether they are with or without intellectual disabilities. So unified sport, as you all know, is combining those athletes with and without intellectual disabilities on the same sports team to promote social inclusion through shared sports training and competition experiences. So over the past week, we've had our unified secondary school basketball competition in Ontario, and as we've seen a lot of really positive relationships built through that competition in itself. And I got a nice message from one of the teachers that is in attendance today, saying how much one of their students really enjoyed being a part of that unified team. And we definitely see this as a huge part of our programming going forward. So in addition to building those relationships between athletes with and without intellectual disabilities, it's a great tool for peer mentorship opportunities for leadership students to take on roles of helping organize events as well as participating as unified partners. And it widens the community of Special Olympics advocates, as we saw from our presentation from Motion Ball and their No Good Way campaign. And building on that, it improves the awareness of discrimination and actively combats against discrimination with people experiencing unified sport and contributing and sort of coming across people who they might not have met in their mainstream sporting opportunities. Some added benefits from unified sport is there's, again, obviously more opportunities for inclusion, continuum of participation, and we're going to talk about that, where unified goes beyond secondary schools. For Special Olympics as a movement, it introduces us a new pool of volunteers, gives access to facilities, which we'll talk about when they're post-secondary opportunities, job opportunities, and deepens the community connection and awareness. So you'll see the photos at the bottom of the slide here, and these are taken with the University of Toronto Scarborough campus unified basketball team. I had the distinct privilege of accompanying this team to a basketball competition in the United States at Ohio State, and got to witness some really powerful moments of inclusion and unified sport at that competition. In Ontario, before COVID, we built up a strong community and network of post-secondary institutions who were running intramural unified programs, and we're hoping to get back to that when we get back to more regular scheduled programming after the pandemic sort of peters out. And this is sort of our transition plan for athletes that are coming out of our secondary school programs. So just like Unified Champion Schools and secondary schools, we have developed a bunch of pillars for our post-secondary schools to be also Unified Champion Schools. So not only unified partners, but Special Olympics athletes will know when they graduate from university, there are unified opportunities in their local community. So what these programs look like, where our local community councils, so in this case, Toronto Special Olympics would partner with the local university or college and create intramural programs where the local Special Olympics athletes would come and play an intramural league style competition alongside the intramural athletes from the university or college. These programs were very well received, and within 2 years, we were having standalone provincial championships with these programs. So really awesome there, awesome growth there. But these photos on the bottom, I think, really exemplify the the connections that are made through these unified programs and tying it back to the secondary school programs. We believe we can start making these connections earlier on in students' lives. And I believe that Vienna touched on that in her No Good Way presentation, that these earlier opportunities really have a great impact on both unified partners and Special Olympics athletes' lives. So at this competition, our next slide has a little bit of a video. And at this specific competition, there was, in addition to the basketball tournament, there was a skills competition. And the athlete you see with the number 4 there, that's Guhulin, he entered the 3-point competition. And up until this point, the athletes had played a couple games. They were still trying to get to know each other a little bit. But sitting on the sidelines, watching Guhulin make his free throw attempts, you really saw how that team bonded. So I'm going to play that video for you next, and you get to sort of witness that from the bench. So that was a really cool experience there to see the University of Toronto students sort of sitting there along the bench and watching Guhulin play. And you have to understand that he doesn't shoot when he plays basketball. He always drives the basket. So they weren't really, maybe they had some preconceived ideas of what was gonna unfold during the 3-point competition. But he definitely blew them away, and it was really an eye-opening moment for those unified partners that, just because someone's a Special Olympics athlete doesn't mean that they can't participate alongside mainstream or unified partners. The best part of this story is this team actually went on to win the unified championship. So in the United States, they have an intramural league championship for all the intramural teams, and they have a men's league, a co-ed league, a women's league, and now they also have a unified league. And that is sort of our vision for both secondary and post-secondary schools. But, speaking to our audience tonight of mostly secondary school teachers, we would love to see in Ontario, we have sort of a bold vision that if you have a men's basketball team and a women's basketball team, you're going to have a unified basketball team or Special Olympics basketball team at your school as well. And that team is going to be treated exactly the same as any other school team that goes to compete at the championships. So that team, like I said, actually went on to win. They beat Duke, Florida State, all of those March Madness basketball teams that you hear about, and are still, to my knowledge, the defending champions, because this tournament hasn't run since then. So we look forward to returning to the United States to defend our title, but this was a really, really great experience, and we've got so much positive feedback from both Special Olympics athletes and Unified partners that we love to share this story when we talk about the real impacts of this program on everyone involved. So I have one final video. So out of that program, there is a short little video about Special Olympics Unified Sport, and we can certainly make this video available to the educators if they're interested in showing their administration, what Unified can do and what it means to so many people. There is some American content in here, but there's also University of Toronto Scarborough campus from that tournament that we just saw. So keep an eye out for them. And let me know if you can't hear anything, Colin.
Intramural sports on college campuses across the nation provide students the opportunity to play what they love and get active. Intramural sports are also a powerful tool for inclusion. ESPN is proud to be the global presenting sponsor of Special Olympics Unified Sports, which joins people with and without intellectual disabilities on the same team. It was inspired by a simple principle. Training together and playing together is a quick path to friendship and understanding. Today, Special Olympics athletes and college students participating in unified intramural sports are leading the charge for creating a more respectful and accepting world. Side by side, unified.
This is the programming that makes everything that campus recreation is about good. This is including those that have been excluded, including those that haven't had the same opportunities to participate in programming.
It's my first time being part of a team. It just makes me feel happy that I'm doing something for fun.
No matter who you are, the sport's always the same.
Just because you may have a disability or you're dealing with something doesn't mean you're not an athlete.
And you get to meet people from different walks of life and different backgrounds. I think it's really important because then I can come in and I can teach Jeff what I know from my experiences, and then he can come in and teach me the stuff that he's done. And it's just really cool to get together and learn together.
I think it's about creating partnerships and a better understanding between the different communities.
Great opportunity for everyone to develop friendships and play together.
We're all out here trying to, better each other, and I think that this kind of program really lets us all do that.
Unified sports should be on every campus because it's more fun that way and that everybody can play the game.
A lot of campuses across the U.S. have slowly but surely started with Unified, and now I think it kind of helps start the conversation for those schools that might not have it.
We've just been able to engage in a different population. Never played intramurals before, and then to our athletes who are playing as well.
It allows for students to interact a bit more with a traditionally a bit more marginalized community.
It's all about including those that haven't been included before, and so it's having a platform at the collegiate level where you are welcome to participate, you are welcome to play, even if you haven't, even if you're not someone that considers yourself athletic. That's what we love about this programming.
I have basketball here, I have friends, and I'm very, very happy with that.
By including Unified Sports as a recreational program to promote inclusion across campus, that'll only create a more positive, welcoming environment for everyone, people of all abilities, people of different skills, and I think it's really important to have that on campus.
Someone had written "Unified is life," but someone was holding the poster upside down so that it said "Life is unified." Wherever we go in life, we're going to be interacting with people that are different from us. When we practice these skills of bonding with people that we don't even know, that is something that is applicable to everyone.
It's something that can bring every university together. Every university is different, every student population is different, but adaptive, inclusive students are everywhere, and they need the same programming, they need the same interactions amongst their peers.
It's competitive, but it's collective at the same time. At the end of the game, win or lose, everyone's clapping and congratulating the other team. And so I think it's wicked. It would be great if more people had the opportunity to participate in this sort of thing.
You win, you lose, it don't matter. We always gonna be a team together.
It doesn't have to be a big production to start Unified.
You already have your intramural programs on your campus, and this is no different. It's just another division. You only need one time slot to get it going.
As soon as we reached out to whether it was the campus entity or our state office, Special Olympics was ready to go. They have the resources and the people and the passion, and you just get to put your two parts together.
When we come together for Unified Sports, we're all one team. We're all pushing the same agenda, which is inclusivity, which is excitement and fun. And that's why universities now need to implement this so that we can all work for the same mission, which is let's make their day better. Let's make our program better by including everyone that hasn't been offered the same opportunity to play and participate in awesome sport programming.
So as you can tell, some pretty powerful experiences and moments can be brought through unified sport. So we're really hoping as we build back our school programs and secondary schools across the province that unified is definitely a central pillar in those programs. And going beyond sport, sport is obviously the backbone that most of our programs are built on as Special Olympics. In our mission statement, but going beyond sport to fostering those relationships through our social opportunities, unified social opportunities, unified advocacy and awareness campaigns, like we presented on earlier in the conference, and as well as those financial, the sustainability and fundraising campaigns that can be done unified, all promote and give awesome opportunities for those inclusion pieces. So finally, tonight, we would like to say thank you to you, the educators. You are the ones who are putting in the hours to make these programs a reality at your school. So thank you, thank you, thank you a million times. Thank you for all that hard work that you put in registering your students and implementing the crazy sport challenges we've been putting out to you in these virtual times. But as I saw today in our basketball championships, the athletes were having such a great time, and we continue to have a ton of interest in these programs, and that speaks largely to the hard work and effort that's being put in on the ground by you, the educators. So thanks again for all your work. So before we go, I'd love to open up the floor to anyone if there's any questions about Unified or our programs, Unified Champion Schools, and the things that we're going to be doing in the coming weeks and months and years. Kelly, first Unified, yep, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly, and we really appreciate that. All right, well, I'm going to stop the recording in case anyone is shy to